Welcome back to our Curatorial Corner. Today we're bringing sexy back. Okay, just kidding. But we are going to talk about corsets. So I would say that a lot of visitors, when they see our exhibitions, they see these old dresses and they want to know, how did people's waists get so tiny? Well, there's a lot of factors, but one of them is a great foundation garment, like a corset. So we're going to talk a little bit about Clevelanders traveling to Paris, shopping for their corsets there. We're going to look at some of the corsets that they brought home and talk about how that's so different from our lives today. Okay. So we're here in costume storage, and I thought before we look at corsets, we'd look at a dress. This is a dress worn around 1880 by a woman from Cleveland named Helen Coles. So she was definitely wearing a corset to help her get this shape. You can see the cinched in waist. I'm going to use this piece of twill tape to measure that waist. That is 26 inches. Okay, so I've seen tinier. I've seen 22 or so. All right, so here we are. I am with our chief curator, Eric Rivette. Although, do you want to introduce yourself anymore?
I'm the chief curator, Eric Rivette.
Okay. All right, so Eric, you are here as my fellow historian to just chat about this a little. So as someone who knows a lot about history, maybe not historical dress, what are your thoughts about this corset?
It's tiny.
It's tiny? Okay.
So my first question would be, do we know who wore this?
We do. It was worn by a woman from Cleveland, Leona Boyce Talmadge. She traveled to Paris. It was part of her wedding trousseau. And she got married in 1883. So I don't remember how old she was, early 20s was sort of the normal age of marriage at that time. And it is small, although there's a little bit more room down here. And then we don't know how tight Leona was lacing her corset. Mm-hmm. So you've got some room for adjustment there. What else? What else would you want to know about this corset?
What's the other corset?
Oh, what's this little guy? This is your model. So when you went into the corset shop, then you would see some options and say, I'll take that one, only big. But this is kind of fun because it's almost a perfect replica of your little, of your larger corset rather.
So I guess what surprises me about these, looking at them, is how many decorative elements there are for something that nobody is ever going to see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, except your husband,
well, sure.
Your lover. Okay, well.
There's that, yeah.
So decorative elements that, right, the public is not going to see. I mean, I think there's a couple things going on. First of all, the fabric itself is just a luxurious silk satin. Mm-hmm. These threads here are both decorative, but they're also reinforcing the ends of the boning.
Okay.
So the boning is less likely to poke through that delicate silk. You know, you've got the silk with the ribbon through, or the lace, excuse me, with the ribbon through there, which is just kind of an optional decorative thing. But I think about, I mean, it's a functional thing, but it's a piece of lingerie. This is your high-end fancy version. So this is sort of top of the line. I don't know, but you know, when I'm feeling special and I want some nice lingerie, even if nobody else is gonna see it, it can make the wearer feel good.
I'm right there with you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so this is part of a system, so obviously you have garments underneath it. Mm-hmm. At this time period, are they still wearing the big hoops, or are they getting into something else by this time?
So we're in the 1880s. You're probably going to have a bustle rather than a crinoline.
It's the hump on the back?
Yes. So your junk in the trunk versus your bell skirt, I guess. And you've got your sort of undershirt or chemise, then your corset, a corset cover, a pair of drawers, a petticoat, and then various bustle pads, which give you a fuller backside as well. And then your dress.
Sure.
Oh, stockings, you know, all kinds of good stuff.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. From our perspective, looking back, this is crazy. Yeah. But if this is what you grew up with, 100 years from now, people will think blue jeans were absolutely insane. Maybe, who knows?
Maybe.
But
jeans will never go out of style. Oh, I wonder if they will. But I mean, that kind of takes us back to the reason I wanted to talk about corsets in the first place. It's an exhibit about French fashion, but it's not just about the clothes, but about the fashionable silhouette, the whole experience, and that common visitor question, you know, how did they get such a tiny waist? Well, part of it is that foundation garment. And often you'd get that while you're getting your dress in Paris, if you were so lucky.